coconut is used extensively. I still remember my grandma's yard had these tall coconut trees, and my grandma would pop open a coconut every day, every morning, and use this whole coconut meat in her cooking. Today's recipe, I'm going to show you a very special recipe made with coconut sprouts, garbanzo sprouts. Coconut doesn't sprout. So what I've done is the sprouted garbanzo, I have added it to boiling water and just letting it cook. And the masala or the spice blend that goes with it are coriander seeds. These coriander seeds, you can get them in Indian stores, or you can get it in some specialty grocery stores. And this is green chilies, lime juice, and lots of coconut in this recipe. But these days I'm restricting my use of coconut. So what I decided to use was a little bit of onions. Coconut, if you use it in good quantity, it not only gives it good flavor, it also acts as a thickening agent. So what I've done is I've used little coconut to give good flavoring, but for the thickening part of it, I add white onions. Now in this recipe, I would recommend that you use white onions. What I've done is I've just sauteed it in a little bit of oil so it's become soft. And for the spice blend, I just need to put these coriander seeds in a spice blender. This spice blender is a wet and dry ingredient spice blender, so I can mix whatever and make a nice fine puree. So you make a nice puree of it. And then to a blender, you add coconut, this white onion, and the spice blend that we blended. Now if you put this spice blend in this blender instead of the spice grinder, it'll not make a fine puree of it. So try and use a little spice blender for that. And I use some water. Always use hot water when you're grinding coconut. It makes a smooth paste. There's some oil content in the coconut, and if you use cold water, it separates out. So okay, you make a fine puree of it, and then you add it to this boiled sprouts. It's very creamy and delicious. And of course, you add some salt. Now, if you use green chilies in this recipe, the flavor differs versus if you use red chilies. And I add some lime juice to it. And cover it for about 2 to 3 minutes. Now, to serve this garbanzo curry, I like to serve it with rice. You can always serve plain white rice with it, but in one of my previous shows, I had shown turmeric rice with cabbage. So what I've done, I've put it in this mold, and I hope this mold cooperates with me. Yes. When you're ever making something new, always try to make the presentation very different. And usually serve it thus. Here you have garbanzo sprouts coated with coconut sauce. It's very simple. I know it's a little bit of high in saturated fat, but it's nice for a change, an exotic touch.